Let me
Shoot,
sing to you.
usually I do it on my
Yours,
phone,
mine,
but I
ours.
had to turn it
I
down
can do this
on
for
my. Oh gosh,
hours.
let's
Still
go ahead and
talk
start
to
this show.
you for hours. I wanna give you your flowers. Yeah.
I'll take no flowers every time.
Every
You better sing it, Robbie. And off that
every time.
note right there, welcome to the pre-snap read.
Yes, sir.
This your host, Ron Bridges, with your two lovely co-hosts, Jerry, that doggy dog, and the lovely lady,
Lovely lady.
Robin McGee.
Thanks, guys.
Shoot. And today, guys, man, we got a special guest, man. This dude right here helped me a lot when I first entered the YouTube game. I didn't know what the HELL I was doing. And I was like, man, I'm gonna just reach out to this dude and see if he hit me back up. See if he, give me some news, give me some feedback, give me something. Literally, like, dude hit me back up in probably like an hour or 2 hours worth of time. Definitely gave me a whole bunch of feedback and gave me stuff, to work on and do. And me and him talk throughout the day sometimes, or we hit each other up once a day or something. Just I show him something, or I go on this show, talk on the phone through his show. He be like, "Yo, that was a dope comment." I really appreciate this dude because he's been helping me a lot, and right now I look towards him because he's the person that motivates me to keep going to get to where he at, and I know I how can I say this? A million people love him, but 1,000 people hate him. It's my boy, Scotty Allscript, man. Give it out to Scotty Allscript, man.
Hey, preach. Listen, man. I was back here getting a little. I was getting a little. I was like, oh. I was like, dang, man. I'm like, you a real one, bro. But nah, man. Appreciate you for having me on, man. I'm blessed to see where you've come, and I'm glad I can say I was a part of your journey and wherever this might end up, for you and you and your team, man. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So you already know how it go, Robin. Let's get it.
Taking it away. So we're gonna start the show off with a little bit of BS, guys. The Delaware State women's lacrosse team had recently went into an incident with the Georgia State Police. So this was in Liberty County, a small county in Georgia. So the Delaware State University women's lacrosse team was traveling home from their last season, their last game of the season when they were stopped by the Georgia police. And the reason why they were stopped initially was because the driver of the bus was apparently was in the wrong lane, right? And then from there, they pulled him over. And then instead of them doing a regular stop, letting the bus driver know, hey, you were in the wrong lane, everything okay? No, they started to get drug dogs sniffing around. Policemen came on side of the bus talking about, if y'all got something to hide, y'all might as well let me know now, because if we're finding, we're not going to be able to help you. Just, the whole charades of what policemen, white policemen specifically, do to our black, families, our black community, everything. So this, of course, is highlighting in our news today because, one, we all know that it had been a black, all white team, or it doesn't matter what team. It could have been any sport: football, basketball, golf, tennis, chess. And yes, that's listed as a sport on the ESPN app. That's another story, right? All of those things, okay, we know they wouldn't have done that. So it's like we have seen a lot of progress, but we're still, we're repeating history, right? So what are y'all's thoughts on this thing? Did they do the right thing by, y- sometimes you have to have this double-edged sword, right? We say we don't want to, antagonize our policemen, especially if they're questioning, but sometimes you got to stand your ground, right? You got to speak up. But the team, from what we understand, they abided by it. They did have their videos out, their cameras out, and they documented everything. But I think they're going to be taking some legal action. I do believe the team is going to be suing the county. So what do you guys think?
For me, first off, I do think they did the right thing. When you have, teenagers 18, 19, 20, 21. These are people's children, you know, on the bus. And I do think it's a time, you know, to stand up and say, hey, you doing us wrong. This is not justice. But when you got that many people and that many lives to be impacted, it's kind of hard to say we need to take stand and do this, and this. Because at any point in period, we've seen them take guns and kill us down like we're animals. So I think they made the correct action. Again, it's crazy that we still see this day and age. We see it all the time. I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised that they've done it during a team bus. Like, what type of team do you think this is? So he pulled the bus over. I mean, he's like, okay, they're in the wrong lane. That's fine. He gets on the bus. He walks on the bus. Oh, there's nothing but black folks on here. There's gotta be something else going
Jared.
on.
It's nothing but
gotta
niggas.
be something else going on.
It's nothing but niggas.
But I think another thing is and I hate to say it, but we all know there is this, you know, this double standard of, you know, women versus men in the relationship with authority. You actually approached a women's team as well. Like, that's also a little bit bothersome to me because, again, we all know the stigmas that are out there. They are more likely to question and hassle Black men than they are Black women, right? Even though they've done it, the statistics show that they still don't care what you are, you know what I'm saying, just because of the color of your skin. But there is, you know, a little bit more leeway to say, okay, they may have more of a conversation, may yell in your face, whatever. But I'm like, okay, so this is a team full of women as well, and you still gonna act like we're just some, you know, just somebody just running off the side of the mill, just drug dealing off the side of the bus. What you think this is, Mardi Gras? Like, we just cocaine everywhere. Like, everybody get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get why that didn't cross through their minds. But go ahead. I just wanted to say that.
Not only is it a team, these are scholarly women. These are women of a university.
But you know they don't care. But you know they don't care. Clearly they don't care.
Right. This is not like a roundup. This is not, you know, your park and rec. These are university. These are women in college. So it's outrageous to me to see this still going on. And I feel for those women. I wish they didn't have to go through that.
Man, for me, listen, it was, you had a lane. It was a lane change.
Why the fuck you lying?
You lying? I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
No, Scotty.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
Do your thing,
Wait,
Scotty.
that's what you got to do. The allegedly.
Yeah, like it was a lane shift. Stop it, sir. Sir, stop it. Okay. My thing is this. It was. How did you already have the drug dogs? Like you were come on, man. Like, that stuff takes time. Like, you know, when you get pulled over, hey, you know, this, that, and the third. Okay, we're gonna bring the drug dogs and another 20, 30. You already was ready. So it's just hard for me to believe that you didn't have a premise in the back of your mind. Okay, you know, I think this is going on with this bus. You know, let's go have this. You know, you're telling I read the article too. It says something. The guy was like, if there's anything in y'all's luggage, we probably going to find it. Okay, I'm not looking for a little bit of marijuana, but I'm pretty sure you guys chaperones are going to be probably mad if disappointed if we find anything. You already had in your mind set up
that they already have something.
That you already had something. You didn't even give the girls a benefit of the doubt to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have no probable cause to search anything. You didn't have any of that. So listen. We talked about in the show earlier. Like I said, Delaware State, go get your money, okay? Go get your money. Sue the bejesus out them Bamas.
Beat that.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Absolutely.
Like the rapper said, NWA, man, fuck police.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the police, man. It's crazy because every time, like, when I was in Tallahassee and I drive through Georgia to get to South Carolina, I promise you I get stopped either going to South Carolina or going to Tallahassee. It never fails. So
you need to change your vehicle.
And Scotty, that's the crazy part. My vehicle that I used to have was a Lexus. It's one of them 1990s, 2000 Lexus.
You got tinted windows?
Yep.
Drug deal car?
Yep.
Drug dealer car?
Immediately.
Hey,
Drug dealer car?
Immediately
But
stop it.
Still, That's not the fact, though. The fact
Drug dealer car.
I'm doing the speed limit.
Drug dealer car.
I'm minding my
Doesn't matter.
own business.
That's why.
And they just
Thank you.
They gotta pull me over.
Listen, Lincolns, tinted windows, drug dealer cars. Old Lexuses, drug dealer. Because ain't nobody driving a new Lexus. Maybe.
Impala. An Impala. Please put the Impala on the list.
Double top with that's drug dealer all day. That's drug dealer all day. I don't give a damn. I'm sorry. If I was a cop, I'm pulling all them bammers over. Because I know you selling something. But you got a drug dealer car, bro. You need to get a Toyota Camry. You know,
let me finish.
A Hyundai, not a Honda.
Hyundai. You know, the new ones are nice.
They're really nice.
So
great gas mileage.
After I had the accident with my Lexus.
Great gas mileage.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got a Camry, and I didn't get my windows tinted yet.
Okay.
It still pulled me over.
Oh yeah, I can't do nothing for that one. Yeah.
That's just it's just the environment.
Still pulled.
They did
So
the same way,
I
Ron.
was like, man, I just gotta stay out that area because every time I go through here, they're gonna pull me over. And it's kind of like you back in the 70s, man. Like they just gonna pull you over because you driving while you black.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they already knew what was going to happen before they walked on the bus.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And my thing is this: they could have been dirty and put something in somebody's bag and made a big scene out of what happened, and now Delaware State going down the drain.
That's real.
That is
the thing about
and that's people get caught up with that because it's really hard to disprove. That's the whole situation, is because it's going to be their word against theirs, because they're not going to say, oh, okay, it's just one person on the team did it. They're going to blame the entire team, because why? They're going to be like, oh, well, of course you're going to, lie for your teammate or lie for your athlete. So your word is not going to hold any weight, right? So I think it's also interesting to note, guys, that the entire coaching staff, except one of the assistant coaches, is black, right? And this is, a predominantly white sport. So let's just start there. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lacrosse team full of black athletes, a couple of women that are not of color, and then you have a black staff. I feel like even there may have been a little bit more leeway had like the coaching staff been white. You know what I'm saying? Like just even to go deeper into the discussion. That's because fair. It's like, I come on the bus, I see, a black team with black coaches, right? I'm going to think like a cop thing. Oh yeah, something's going on. You see a black team with white coaches, it's like, let's have more of a conversation. What's going on here, guys? Talk me through it. No, they've already had, like you said, Scotty, like already created a narrative before you even knew what the story was about. Like y'all already had it written. We just going to put the ending syllables and stuff like that on the end of the paragraphs. Like that's all we're doing. So it's like, I don't know, maybe if they had that, but it's like, why should we try to make our team look like that just to appeal to the outside environment, just so that we won't get stopped or we won't get questioned? Like we should be able to live how we live and be how we be with our team. So
see,
that's
crazy. Piggyback off of what you said, Ron, I think the reason why they didn't plant something is because, this day and age, everybody has a phone. So you got 50, 60 people. I don't know how many people on that particular team on that bus reporting that incident. 15, so 12. If they were to plant something, it's going to be spotted by at least 15 different people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
True. So
that is a good point.
Hey, if you're driving through Georgia, be safe. Now, if you're in Atlanta, that's a whole different story. You can drive 100.
You would be welcome
with the cops.
Man,
you could drive 100.
Them Bama's in Atlanta cannot drive. I don't give a damn what you say. I just moved here. These Bama's cannot drive in Atlanta. They are crazy.
Scotty, it's NASCAR in Atlanta. If you see a cop right beside you hitting 100, hit it 100 with him. He is not racing.
Man, listen. All you see is Challenger and Chargers.
What?
That's it.
I feel attacked.
Shoot, hey, better not miss the exit, Scotty, because you got to go all the way back around.
Man, yeah, Atlanta's different. Yeah, Atlanta's different.
Atlanta's so different. All right, guys. So next topic, back to Coach Prime. I feel like every week we have talked about JSU or Coach Prime in some type of form of fashion. This man is always in somebody's news.
I think
Like,
he purposely put himself in the news.
But honestly, I love that because you know what I'm saying. He is doing something great. You know what I'm saying. It's not all bad. It's not all I'm Deion Sanders. It's all about me. And sometimes people can have their perception about it all. But I feel like at the end of the day, he's still looking out for athletes. He's still looking out for these players. So, in essence, right, Deion Sanders has now suggested a unique all-star game roster that he wants to put together for bowl season. So the idea is to bring together HBCU athletes, specifically the SWAC players. I don't know if he's going to ever think about including other players from different, conferences, whatever that looks like. But for right now, he has the idea of putting together this all-star game that would happen, during bowl season. Essentially to allow these athletes to have more exposure, get a little bit more playing time, whatever that means for them specifically. So that's where we are. I think it's a great idea. I think he has a great outlook on it. Whenever I see these type of things, we talked about like the HBCU All-Star game with basketball. We talked about the legacy game. We talked about the HBCU football combine that they had. Like all of these different things is great, right? We love that we are giving our athletes a lot more opportunities, a lot more exposure, all of these different, benefits that gives them. But I also feel like, okay, we do something like this. One, there needs to be an overall purpose and a why of what is this for? Why are we doing it? And what benefit is going to bring to the teams, the athletes, the coaches, like the school at large. And then another thing is, how is this going to be something that has longevity, right? It sounds good for the moment. It sounds good for, the period of time of like, okay, I'm all about HBCUs. Let's give them more money. Let's do all these things for showcasing. But then there's another element of, okay, if we were to do it again, like, how would this look, right? Who will we bring in to have partnerships? What kind of money does this look like to continue spending on these types of events when we're always constantly worried about money? So if we're always constantly worried about money, how are we going to have money to continue doing things like this, right? So I think that's where I'm coming from with kind of looking at this type of, event per se is, what's the benefit and how long will it last? Because it sounds cute and all right now, but it's like, where do we see this going? You know what I mean? So that's my little take. Y'all chime in.
What's the point? Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
I mean, for me, being a former college athlete, first off, you only guaranteed 10 games a season. So, after that, it's kind of wishy-washy if you get film out for postseason. So for me, I'm for it. I don't really understand the point of it, but I'm kind of for it because it gives you more of an opportunity to showcase your talent. Anytime you have another game, I want you to showcase your talent. For me, if I had another game to play football, I would take the opportunity every time. So if it's an opportunity to kind of showcase your talent, to get your name out there, if a guy's been doing on and off all season, has a great game, that game can kind of put him on the map to see like, hey, maybe he can play in the NFL, maybe play on the next level. For example, it's a guy that plays for the Browns now. He was, I think, their first defensive lineman pick. He didn't play that well throughout the season, but he showed out during the Senior Bowl and got drafted. So I think it could have some benefits from it.
Okay. The questions that I have is, who are you playing?
Mm-hmm.
Who is involved in the game? Because if you're doing the same thing the Legacy Bowl is doing, that's irrelevant. That game was horrible because the offensive lines are horrible in the HBCU realm. They're not good. That's the whole point of why a lot of teams can't compete at the next level because of the trenches. It's not because of the skill players. You get this the SWAC, MEAC, CIAAS. They all got They all got dogs that can do on the outside. If you can't block anybody, it doesn't matter. So now you got quarterbacks running for their lives. You know what I'm saying? So who are you playing? Are you taking an all SWAC MEAC team to play a Power 5 team? Because if that's the case, if I'm a Power 5 team and I still beat you and I beat you bad, it doesn't look good for anybody, if I'm being honest. I mean, it doesn't look good for the SWAC or the MEAC as a whole, maybe individually for a player or two. So it all depends on what it looks like. If you're trying to make an all-star game to go play, whomever, whatever, yeah, but that's what you have the Legacy Bowl for. If you're trying to play a bowl game, like a legit bowl game, I wouldn't. If I was a team, I wouldn't do that. Like if let's say I was Louisiana Tech and we're playing in the Outback Bowl and Deion's like, yo, we're gonna put I'm not about to play an all-star HBCU team and I just got the same guys that you gonna pick your best players against my overall team. Like, that's not fair. Even if we beat you in the trenches or whatever, it's still not fair. You know what I'm saying? You're literally picking the best players to go against my one team. So it all depends on how it's set up. The reason that you're always talking about Deion, because Deion's always talking. You know what I'm saying? That's just one and the same. You know what I'm saying? He's always got something to say. But I don't know, man. It's on you, Bridges. What you got?
I like the idea. I mean, he's trying to be innovative, but it's only so much you can do now, because we just had an all-star game where all the HBCU players play one against each other. The only thing I can think about is you take your best FCS players from different teams and put them against the SWAC and MEAC.
I like that.
So, I mean, that will be a better way to, to prove that HBCU players can compete individually, not as a team, but individually to get your number called for an NFL team.
I like that.
So that's the only way I can see that happening.
But think about, but now think about what you're asking. You're asking, let's say there's 200 FCS teams. You're asking a conference with what was it, 8 in MEAC, 20 teams, 180 teams. Like, you're picking the best out of 180 against people. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this, Robin. I'm gonna let you go.
Go ahead, babe.
North Dakota State and South Dakota State got the best offensive linemen. So you're literally taking the best of the. You probably gonna go all 5 with them 2 schools alone when it comes to offensive linemen, and then you're gonna have them go against the SWAC MEAC offensive linemen. Huh? That's what I'm saying. Huh? That's tough. But I like it, but it's tough. Go ahead.
Well, it's gonna be some pancakes eating that game.
I was actually going to say that. I was like, going off of Ron, your suggestion of maybe taking the best of the FCS. I'm just looking at it like, if this game doesn't go according to how Deion is actually wanting it to go, this is going to be very discouraging for these athletes and a complete waste of time. Because if you're saying, from his point of view, he's not even saying, going off of that suggestion, Ron, he's actually saying that he's going to take this all-star team of SWAC players and play a different school. So what school are you going to choose that's going to be, one, you would have to choose someone that was going to be equally of a talent of all those individual players put together. That's hard to kind of narrow that down with all the schools that they have of choice. And then on top of that, which you kind of pointed out, Scotty, is even if they were to do that, it's what is the point of it all? Is it just to showcase that we have talent? But it's really not showcasing a school's talent. You're just showcasing the individual talent that the SWAC has to offer individually, because you're not going to be taking Southern against, Louisiana Tech. You're not going to be taking Grambling against, McNeese, whatever. You would have to think about that in totality to understand exactly how is this going to be of benefit. And that's where I'm like, it's cute. Don't get me wrong. I love when our communities come together. I love, and see Grambling, Southern, Fam, all on the same team, right? That's cute. Now I'm like, but what are we gonna be doing, with it? I don't know. So, it's really weird for me.
To kind of go back to what you're saying, I think this is a start. I think in order to get these college and NFL coaches to come to these games, first you have to show them we have the talent to compete with people that are going to the next level anyway. So if we can compete with teams like, any FCS team, any team that's getting players drafted on a yearly basis, they're gonna be like, hey, maybe they do have some guys there that we can pick up in the draft, you know, and then they'll start coming to the games, you know, because I think this is really the starting point. Once they start showing out and we start doing good, it's like, I'll give it a shot to see what they got down there at Jackson State.
So you think
this
this is more so? You think this is more so a avenue for better recruiting and scouting for professional football?
Yes, complete. Because the argument is that HBCU football does not play against enough competition to be able to compete on the next level. So if they're playing harder competition, or competition that's already have guys in the NFL, this can be a game saying like, hey, maybe they do have that talent. Maybe they do have those guys. We got four guys drafted this year, 5 guys drafted this year.
4.
We're trying to increase on top of that number. So I think he's just trying to search every avenue he can to make that happen. Deion is almost like HBCU version of LeVar Ball. That's what I'm thinking of to me. He's trying to get everything to get his kids out there.
I feel that.
That's
Those my boys out there.
I mean, I'm gonna say this. I don't know. I keep it 100, right? And I keep it realistic. What are you expecting from a conference that doesn't want to play competition? Like, and they don't even beat out of conference competition. Like, you don't even win against FCS opponents. Why would I want an all SWAC team and you can't even beat this is what I say. It's like listen, Jared, that's like you coaching a 13U team, right? And then you're playing 13U, and then you see this conference down the street of like another county, and you're like, nah, man, we not gonna play them. Like, bro, they 13U too. What you mean you're not gonna play? They're 13U too. And then when you do play them, you never beat them. So you just, like, for me, the SWAC has to think about, okay, when we play out of conference games, we gotta win out of conference games, because it's all great and dandy. You beat up on each other, but if you can't beat nobody outside your conference, that means your football is bad. It's just that's just what that means. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing for North Dakota State to come down and beat a SWAC team, but it's something for a SWAC team to go up to North Dakota State and beat them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Kennesaw State can come in and whoop up on you, but you won't go whoop up on Kennesaw State. So I think he needs to focus on winning out of conference games, including Jackson State, because they got Campbell this year on their schedule. Win that game, and then you can start talking about some other things. But I think if you're beating the best FCS competition, you can get drafted. It's just that simple. I mean, North Dakota State, the Missouri Valley Football Conference had 9 players get drafted. 2 players, I think one player went in the second round, and then another player went into the first round, late in the first round, offensive lineman from UNI. I don't know if that's FCS.
That's Trevor Penny.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's Missouri Valley, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you got FCS guys going top caliber, a wide receiver. So, but you get to see them against top competition, because Missouri Valley Football Conference is top competition. So it is what it is, but play better competition. That's my thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100% agree.
I feel 50-50 about it. I want to see how it's set up. I want to see who, what, when, where, and why. You got to answer all the W's.
It ain't gonna happen.
It's not. This is such an idea. It's not. It doesn't have the right organization and formalities to actually be something. At least like the Legacy Bowl, like, I had a little bit more substance. So it was created, it was done. Was it the best? No, but I think it's something that could be built upon. This is already conflicting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's already conflicting. So it's like, nah.
It doesn't have a benefit. It doesn't have a benefit for the team that's wanting to play them.
Yeah.
It only has a benefit for our conference.
There you go.
That's so true.
There you go, Jared.
But then the thing, it's like, are we doing this to be not selfish? What's the word? I can't even think of the word. Being an asshole. Oh, I'm gonna take my best player so I can be the FCS team. Now look at us. Like, at the end of the day, we're gonna look like an asshole because we had to take everybody. We had to take everybody from the SWAC just to be the mediocre team, and we still gonna look like the ass.
But it's really not, like, still team oriented, because after these young men play on that game, they got to go back to their team that was probably 3-11 or 2-10 or whatever. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Even though they individually are the better
Yeah.
players, we got to understand they got to go back to the teams that was being shitted on within the teams in that conference, let alone the teams outside of it.
I think
So
my
I'm
biggest
like,
issue is the HBC. And I'm gonna say this and we can move on. Like my thing is HBCU football is still FCS football. Like that, I think that's what a lot of people are like. Oh, HBC. Like, no, you're an FCS conference.
yes.
You're just an all black conference. But they isolate themselves so much in the mentality of, oh, let's do a all-star HBCU football game. Your football is not even that good to do that. You saw it in the Legacy Bowl. If the offensive line, listen, man, Akil Glass was running for his life. So it just shows you that it's not as good as you think it is within your own frame. You know what I'm saying? So it's just expanding your mind just a little bit. I think the Legacy Bowl would do a lot better if it was all black players in FCS. You know what I'm saying? Make it a black bowl, not just for black schools. So I think that would have been better, but to each his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a little bit of changes and ideas of change, we all know that the MEAC is hanging on.
Boy, they hanging on like, yeah.
Listen. I really want to commend them in their efforts and what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it. Okay, they have lost a lot of lives. RIP. But here we are.
Who died?
Not they lost lives.
Who died?
Help
what happened to Virgil?
me. Robbie.
Not that.
He said
no, help
they lost
me.
Man, shit, we lost a lot of lives. Wow. Yeah. All right.
Man, look, I said, look. Listen, I don't want to talk too much about it anymore. Y'all know what I said. Y'all say what I said. But anyway, we have the CIAA, okay, that has the opportunity or the idea of maybe just the framework of potentially jumping in and joining on with the MEAC. Now we know predominantly all our CIAA schools Division II, correct? CIAA. Yes. Division II schools, MEAC schools are all Division I, correct? So I'm trying to wrap my head around kind of, and this is where you guys kind of chime in because I only know so much, but I know that, seemingly if we're thinking about location wise, CIAA and MEAC are not that far geographically apart, right? So so geographically this could definitely work. Now we're thinking of competitions, we're thinking of schedules. What would that look like for our sports who are representative of D2 versus D1? Does that really make a bit of a difference considering that they're, HBCU universities, or, does it really matter because it's the MEAC?
Let me take this real quick. Let me take this real quick because I know Jerry, he knows he CIAA down.
I want to stay on state.
I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people are not gonna like it. The MEAC needs to go to CIAA. CIAA does not need to go up to the MEAC. I'm gonna just say that. And South Carolina State needs to dip to the SWAC, and everybody else can. Norfolk State can probably go, but everybody else can go down. Everybody else can go. If I'm being honest, everybody else can go down. That's my point. That's my opinion. If I'm the CIAA, ain't none of us coming up. We doing a lot better than y'all. I'm not wasting my time. It's on you, Jerry. I know you about to shut it down.
Hey man, CIAA is all me. I love to see y'all, man. But to me, I don't think any of these schools have the funds to join the MEAC. We saw Winston-Salem State join the MEAC back in 2000 for a short period of time, and that ended badly. We came back down to Division II. Also, I think another school actually had tried that and came back down.
Savannah State.
Right. So it's been tried before. So now I think the team that everybody is looking to kind of attempt that is Virginia State. I don't see it working because you got to think, man, to move every team, every player in a football, for example, a football game. If let's say Virginia State went down to let's see who. Give me a team. Any team in the MEAC, man. It would be a
Delaware
lot.
State. Delaware State.
Delaware State. They went to Delaware State. It would be a lot harder for them to travel, versus going to their regular Virginia Union, to their other schools. And we're traveling 100+ people. And from what I know, these schools aren't doing particularly well when it comes to football. They're already in the red, and that's on a norm across the board in the CIAA. And that's not anything that's unusual. A lot of schools are in the red with football because you got to think about how much you have to do for football.
Mm-hmm.
You got to feed those people, 100 people. You got to travel with 100 people. You got to house 100 people. And that's not for one night. That's on 2 or 3 nights. And if you're traveling like really farther than what you are, you're gonna have to add more time to that and more gas to that. So I can't see it happening.
This is tough because the MEAC is just crying for help. They asking anybody and everybody, hey, you want to come to the MEAC? Do you want to come to the MEAC? Hey, okay, how about this? I just sent out a mass email to everybody so everybody can come to the MEAC. So, like, it seems like they keep reaching out so much, but they're not trying to help the MEAC individual schools themselves. Like, I feel like you need to build back the foundation of the MEAC, then reach out to different schools. But the CIAA, they're gonna have a whole bunch of financial problems trying to, like you said, Jerry, going places, and low key they school already in the red. And like for me, I went to Benedict, so like I already know, like it's gonna be hard for like a team like Benedict to travel up to Delaware and all this other stuff. And just like what's to say, it's gonna be hard for them to travel like that. It really is. And
I'm gonna tell you that right now. We done
doing it.
Yeah.
What Magic Johnson say? I ain't gonna be there. We're not gonna be there, dog.
Yeah. And Scotty can attest to this. Like even just us four, we do not give back to our HBCUs so they can thrive. Like it's so hard for just to give $1. You ask a black person to give $1, they're gonna scratch their head. They're gonna be like, "No, I just paid."
No. Let's be honest here. No. Let's be honest. Black people will give their money what they want to give their money to. Let's be very honest with it, because I bet y'all got tennis shoes in y'all closet, right? Yeah. I know my nails are done. My hair is done. You know what I'm saying? So in essence, our black folks, let's not belittle them and say that they don't spend money. We spend money.
That black bottom dollar is gonna get spent.
But you know what we do? We spend money with an exchange of something. What are we going to get back? That's what we spend our money on. That's what our black folks spend our money on. And I think that's why it's important to have these conversations with administrators and them talking about like, oh, we want our alumni to do this and this and this. Well, it's great to say that. And yes, as an alum, we do need to do our part and give back, especially if we have the means and opportunities to. However, there is an element of our HBCUs being stuck in that old mindset of like, okay, we just gonna do this for the tradition, but we're not really going to elevate and expand like all these other universities are doing. But we're mad when people don't want to go to our university.
Come on.
So I think that's what we need to kind of, separate when we have these conversations about money, HBCUs, and how we see ourselves growing and thriving, because it's a double-edged sword. I'm not gonna lie. We do our part sometimes, and sometimes we fail at it, but sometimes our HBCUs be slacking because they're choosing not to grow. Like that's a choice.
Pass the collection plate.
And you gotta think about this. Every HBCU is in a black community, like hands down. And I looked at this like chart a couple years ago. Our black dollar don't even last a day in a black community. It doesn't last a day. it only probably lasts 2 hours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So as for a group of people, as for people that live in those communities, as far as like Jackson, Mississippi, Tallahassee, Columbia for Benedict, Winston-Salem State, and Winston, and Orangeburg, we need to do better as far as where our black dollar is going. Because once we put our black dollar in a black business, it's going to circulate, and it's going to circulate through the colleges. So we just need to do better trying to figure out what we can put our money to so our schools can survive and thrive.
My
Mhm.
my thing is this. I want to go back to what Robin said. I think I'm not going to donate to something I don't see a change. I'm just not. If I like when you put your money in something, you want to see something change, right? That's why,
investment.
you come on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep putting money in a savings account if I don't never see it grow. You know what I'm saying? I got to see some type of change. And that's why FAMU love what Gaucher was doing, because they had no problem giving him money because he got new facilities, new locker rooms. They're like, oh, that's what we doing? Hey, where is my checkbook? Because I'm ready. You get the energy and the excitement when you see where your money is going. You see what I'm saying? And you see the administration doing something with it. You're like, they're just not sitting on our money. You know what I'm saying? If it's building new dorms, if it's building a new a center or whatever, you're like, that you take pride in your school when you see those things happening. So if you're not having if the schools love to blame alumni, but hold your accountability on, are we doing right with the money that we're receiving from you? That's the ticket to it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be mad when people don't want to give anymore because they're not happy with what they're seeing done. It's their money at the end of the day. It's their money.
Yeah.
Facts.
Very
Facts.
true.
I want to address something real quick. Well, real quick, Jerry, I'm sorry. So I wanted to go back. We had talked about the potential of South Carolina State. You know, ideally, it could work going to SWAC, right? We already lost. Howard is going. In 2023, they're leaving. So,
Nah, they staying.
They stand now.
They staying.
are they
they
staying?
staying?
Because I thought they were going to CAA in 23-24.
Nah, they just made an announcement last week saying they're staying in the MEAC.
Yeah, they stand.
Interesting. I don't think they'll stay for long.
I mean, either. I don't think so
So
either.
let's just, okay, cool. Howard staying, right? I do believe if we were to like map this out, Norfolk could leave. Howard could leave, ideally, if they're gonna leave. North Carolina Central, I could go to the CIAA.
That would be nice.
Morgan State, I don't know too much about Morgan State. Y'all can chime in. Do y'all think that it'd be beneficial if they go to a different conference or CIAA?
They should go to the neck. Other than they should go to the neck, not to. They shouldn't go anything below Virginia.
No, they are.
Yeah, they need to
They gotta
go
go
up.
up.
Yeah.
So in essence, that was 5 schools out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I mentioned. The only ones I didn't mention was Coppin State, Maryland Eastern Shore, and Delaware State.
Eastern Shore
So it's
definitely
like,
need to go D2. They're a basketball school. They definitely need. They would do really well in the CIAA because they are a
there we
basketball
go.
school. Yeah.
Right.
So
Isn't Coppin State also a basketball school? Because I know they don't have
Yeah,
football.
definitely.
yeah. So if you bring those two teams in for basketball for CIAA, hey man, when they bring that conference back to Baltimore for that basketball tournament,
It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Maryland gonna be in there. Maryland, man, us Marylanders, we love some basketball now. So, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And this is what you do. So if South Carolina State goes to the SWAC, with the SWAC, literally, you can make it an East and West conference, and anybody Alabama over is the East, and then anybody Mississippi over is the West. You know what I'm saying? So you can literally just break it apart, and you can keep it rolling from there. And people think Tennessee State is going to come in too. So it all depends on. So that's a 14 team, 7. Man, you rolling with something then.
Boy,
You really
the
rolling
blackout
with
right now.
something.
and
That
you
is
gonna
awesome.
have some good football and then
You cooking. But yeah, I definitely think Maryland, Eastern Shore, and Coppin State definitely need to be looking at the CIAA move ASAP, like for real ASAP.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happen.
then they ain't got to spend so much money too. They can put some in their pocket.
Yeah.
Well, that actually goes along with my point, because I know you mentioned in Jerry is like, money is definitely the root of all evil when it comes to decisions like this. But just like how we just broke it down, that it took no time, and it really is probably not going to take that much money to do so, because they're already centrally located in those geographic, regions, and
Exactly.
then it's already competitively going to be fitted.
So that's very true, very true. The piggyback off what you just said, it will be a lot better to move down because to move up, I want to say I think it's 1.7 million or 1.7. Yeah, it's a lot of money that these schools do not have. So if North Carolina Central was to go down, I mean they're right in the same area with everybody else, so they're perfectly fine.
Yeah,
they're traveling less actually. And to be honest with you, Winston played Central last year. We lost by 2 points.
See,
So
see,
competition is there.
ain't even that far. See, they take your pride out of it. No, take your pride out of Central. Come on down. Come on.
Yeah, come on down.
Come on down. Hit them with that Price is Right. Come on down.
to the Price is Right.
Hit
Love that for them.
You know what I'm saying?
But listen, speaking of money, guys, NIL deals are hot off the press. Everybody's getting an NIL deal, you get an NIL, you know. But it's getting there's a little controversy behind it, right? There's going into debates on, is this really going to be beneficial in the long run? Is there going to be potential conflicts that's going to start up? Specifically, this topic is more so centered around college coaches kind of getting the shorter end of the deal because now their athletes, some of them are getting paid more than what they're getting paid. Now, again, that is not contingent on the university. Let me just make that very clear for people who don't understand NIL deals. NIL deals are coming from outside sources. It is not coming from universities unless the university has signed some type of contract with that player, but that's called a scholarship. Here we are. So in that sense, these NIL deals are coming from businesses, right? Corporations, whomever feels like, oh, they're going to give, to be the face of our whatever brand that we have. So we're going to give those money. So in that sense, the coaches that are getting the shorter end of the deal is not receiving money from these businesses because they're not doing anything to deserve money for, unless you want to start, having conversations with some of these corporations of what I can do and me as a coach, because I'm a coach, I would love to get an NIL deal, but then I would have to prove exactly how am I going to benefit their brand, just like how their brand is going to benefit me, right? So I think the conversation around these coaches are feeling some type of way based off of the amount of money that they're receiving. That's really a personal problem, to just be very completely honest with you, because these athletes are actually doing something that is worth the business contracts that they are signing with these businesses. Now, do I feel like some coaches could be paid more? Absolutely. But again, that's an institutional issue. You know what I mean? Has nothing to do with, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, whomever. That has nothing to do with them. That has to do with the institution and the amount of money and budget that they have for their expenses to then give their coaches. So that's my talk. Y'all chime in.
Look, so one thing I want to say from the Great Temptation: ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody come to see no coach. Ain't nobody come.
You're really not.
So from that, you guys talking about money being a problem. He's not getting paid enough. That's fine. That's an internal problem. That is something you need to talk about with the head coach and with the athletic director. These students, they've been struggling for the longest, bringing in millions of dollars to the university. Don't take the one thing away from them that's prideful and is meaningful to them. If you can't coach your athlete because he make more money, that's your fault. That's a pride thing. Simple as that.
Listen, man. Once again, I hate to bring his name up. Coach Prime is in the wrong lane. All right. You're in the wrong lane, bro. FCS and Power 5 money are completely different. NIL deals are not a problem in college football, and I'll tell you why. You're talking about kids who put their bodies on the line for these institutions for 4 to 3 years, right? These kids can end up with CTE. They can blow their knee out. They cannot make it to the pros. They don't have insurance. And all they're going to say, but at least we gave you a free degree. My body is broken down. I can't move the same way. And I gave you all this, and all you can say is you gave me a free degree? No, get your money, okay? Because let's think about it like this. You're making billions off jersey sales. Like Jerry said, ain't nobody coming to see the coach. Ain't nobody coming to see Nick Saban. Ain't nobody coming to see Urban Meyer.
Mhm.
Sham Noah ain't coming to see Dabo Sweeney.
You know what I'm saying? So you're making millions off of Bryce Young selling his jersey. You're making millions off of Zeke Elliott when he was at Ohio State. You're making millions off Tyrann Mathieu. You made USC make
Reggie Bush.
millions off Reggie Bush number 5. They probably still selling that number 5 jersey. You see,
They are.
to this day. So you know these kids. If that's their value to your institution, because I always listen, I talk to a lot of high, powerful businessmen. They tell me this, Scotty, if they can pay you $1 million, how much are they making off of you?
Mm-hmm.
That's for anything. If you're getting paid $100,000, how much is your company making off of you? Right. You see what I'm saying? I can't pay you $100,000. I only make $100,000. I'm breaking even. I ain't gonna make no money off of you. So if that's their value, get your value as it, because there's no guarantee you will go pro. There is none. So when you're hot, get it while you. I can only imagine if Vince Young and Reggie Bush were in college football right now, how much value of NIL deals they would have made in college.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel?
Yeah.
Money Manziel.
Yeah.
Money Manziel, Johnny Football.
Come on, man. So it's just it's things like that you have to think about, that these kids' lives, and think about it. And Jerry knows there's guys in college that were just hot in college. They didn't make it to the pros. They had their own thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they were like the all-world American, this, that for their schools, and then they never get drafted. And then they just go unheard of. And they just, they say, you're a college legend. A good example, the kid from Boise State, the one that coaches for the Cowboys right now, the quarterback. When I think he's like the all-time winningest quarterback at Boise State. He did the Oklahoma, whatever.
Yeah.
He didn't go pro. He went pro for a couple years, but never did anything. Now he coaches. But if he would have made millions up in Boise State. You know what I'm saying? So it just get your value, because you never know what's going to happen in your life, and you can change. And a lot of these black kids coming from bad situations can change their families' lives with $1 million, $500,000. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for it, man. Get your money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I like that movie, man. Show me the money.
Man, get
Mm-hmm.
If a school ain't showing me that money, I don't want to go. That'll be my motto.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't showing me the money, I don't want to go. And I'm using all proper improper English.
Right.
So,
but
for the coach's part, man, they just need to suck it up.
Okay.
They just need to suck it up. Because it's been, like Jerry said, it's been years. These kids probably been eating bologna sandwiches and oodles and noodles and all that other stuff, and they probably only getting 1 meal a day or 2 meal a day. I know, God, what's his thing? I can't remember his name right now, but one athlete said he had to sell drugs for a second until his dad told him to stop. Brandon Marshall. That's who it was. Brandon Marshall.
I ain't hear
Wow.
that.
Yes,
I didn't hear that one either.
He said it on the show, like he was like, because he see everybody else riding in these cars doing these things, and at the end of the day, he's playing, potentially going to the NFL, and he don't have no money in his pocket. So the only thing he could do is do what he saw his dad do, is sell drugs. And literally, he said his dad told him to stop. You ain't like that. Go play football. Right. At the end of the day, you gonna go to the NFL. And imagine if he would have got caught by the police.
He would have been done.
He would have been done.
Exactly. So these coaches really got to think where these kids coming from, because 90% of these kids are black. 75% of these kids come from the hood, and probably 50 of the kids came from nothing.
Yeah.
So if you're not thinking about that, and all you thinking about yourself, who is really selfish?
That's real. Oh, you preaching, bro. Okay.
Because like I said in the beginning, show me the money. Because I know if I'm going to a school and I'm a 5-star player, the first person any NFL person think about is their mama or their grandma or who raised them.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for them first, then I'm bringing that money back to me. So
Absolutely.
So the coaches really need to be figuring out, okay, these kids got all this money. Why won't we create a class, an NIL class for them? Since they're getting money.
But see,
why won't we do
Ron,
financial
keep
literacy?
going. That.
Why won't we teach these kids how to invest and do what's proper with your money?
Yeah.
Save 75% of it and spend 25%.
Yeah. Come on, man. But come on, Ryan. You out here preaching.
Hey.
Put the 500 in the bank and throw away the key. Like let it invest, let it grow.
Yeah.
So they need to start teaching these kids how to how can I say it? How to use their money to make it grow so they don't have to work. Manage the money.
Yeah,
make the money work for them.
Money management. Nah, I that's that you preaching, bro. You preaching.
I digress.
Yeah. No, you're progressing actually, because that's that's essentially what is so important about how these athletes, like we just talked about, some of these young men and young women, on both sides, have never seen that amount of money as as much as it is at one point in time ever before in their lives, and then are just giving it. Granted, deservingly, but it's also like, what do I do with this? I just want to do the first thing that I think of, give it away, right? Or give it to my people and then spend it, which is essentially what you deserve to do. But there is an element of, like you said, Ron, just so eloquently, invest it, learn how to use it, because then, you know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of our athletes are experiencing debt or having to pay back taxes and all this other BS, because they got all of that money and didn't do what they were supposed to do with it, or what was the right thing or better things to do with it, because they weren't taught it. But they gonna be quick to give it to you. Oh, here's a check, here's a check, and whatever you do with it, that's your business. But I'm like, why can't there be some education behind that, right? And even going just on the coaching side, if coaches want to get paid, y'all need to do y'all damn job, right? And get in some championships, get in some winning streaks, right? Nick Saban, you know what I'm saying? As a powerful coach that he is, he's good at his job. I don't even like Nick like that. I'm an LSU Tiger fan. And actually, his ass was at LSU. Let's talk about it. Then he went to Alabama, you know what I'm saying? Got his crew together and has been successful ever since. So I'm like, here go me. He didn't start off like that. Like, he built his way up to that because he got together what he needed to together. We talk about Deion Sanders wanting this all-star team, right? But also, let's talk about these coaches. What are they doing the best that they can possibly do? Are they learning from all these other teams that are winning and constantly getting in championship atmospheres and being in bowl games and all this other stuff? Like, that goes into that. So you're telling me you want to make more and get more. You also have to earn that. Now, there is an element that some institutions do not be paying their coaches what they're worth. Understandably so. And yes, get your money, boo-boo. But there also is, holding yourself accountable, and are you doing the best that you can for your team? And if that question is even slightly a doubt, then you're not. You're not.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I know countless men right now that I play football with that are currently working. They're graduating and currently working fast food. They don't have a job in their field. But you got to think, as an athlete, especially a collegiate athlete, you don't have time to intern. You don't have time to really network at the same rate that other students have a time to network at. So right now, I know about 5 or 6 teammates that I play with, even at FAM. Some guys that I know from FAM that work, fast food or not working in their career field. So it goes back to one thing for me. Use the university. Do not let the university use you. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're making millions off your name, but what do you got for that? What do you have for that? I know a guy on my team I played with back in 2013 at Winston-Salem State. Holds the record for the most touchdowns in the game. He's working at Sam's Club right now. And his name, they're in the Raptors at Winston-Salem State, but are they taking care of him?
Yeah. Come on now.
Come on, what I'm saying. So let these kids make this money, man. Let them invest the money. However they want to do with their money, they have the opportunity to become successful with this money.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna go back to what Robert said, and Jerry, you hitting it right on the head, man. Listen, these coaches will jump ship in a heartbeat to go get a check. Will jump ship. I mean, in the middle of the season, in the middle of a contract, it don't matter. If you gonna pay them more money, they gone. So I have no qualms about kids getting their money at all, because you wouldn't even have the job without these kids. So listen with that.
That would not have a job. They better know it.
If they give, they will receive.
I know that's right. But last but not least, guys, we're going to talk about preseason ranking. I want everybody to think about. We don't have to go through your whole entire top 10, but I do want to talk about a little bit of where we see our teams are. And this top 10, now, Ron, are we thinking we want to just focus on one, one just SWAC conference, or because we don't even have a top 10 for me yet because they don't have 10 teams. But here we are. we're gonna talk about them all in totality, or are we just gonna focus on the SWAC? What are we thinking so that we can give this the proper energy and the attention that it needs? Because maybe Fam is at my top. I'm just letting y'all know. Fam, go rapper.
Just HBCU in total.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I know Scotty saw a couple of them. There was some horrible lists that was
trash
going around. I'm like,
trash.
Do these people know
garbage
football? Are they watching soccer? Like,
Football.
Yeah, football. Yes, the one with the feet.
Y'all better stop because soccer that game.
Soccer is that game.
First of all, relax. Then I play in my homeland.
I'm gonna just give you my top 5. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do because I ain't got because my top 10 is long. So my top 5 is this: South Carolina State's number 1, Jackson is number 2, FAM is number 3, North Carolina A&T is number 4, and Texas Southern is number 5.
That's nice.
That's not bad. Not bad.
That's real nice.
Okay.
I love that. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about South Carolina State, but I like that. Right. I like the rest of it.
Celebration Bowl. How they the Celebration Bowl champs? How they not number 1?
That's fine, but I said no.
That's somebody who wins the Super Bowl.
I'm looking ahead. I'm looking ahead, not behind. I'm looking ahead, not behind. I'm looking ahead, not behind.
And that's last year, dog.
Looking ahead, not behind.
You won't read yesterday's newspaper.
Look where I'm going. This way.
Okay.
This way.
Okay. That looks behind you. Go ahead. That looks behind you. But go ahead.
Let's see. So for me, I got Jackson State number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got South Carolina State. Then I got FAM. Okay. Then I got A&T.
Okay.
And then that's where it kind of gets a toss up for me.
Yeah.
For the 5, I don't know if I want to go with another team from the MEAC or I want to go from a team from the SWAC. I'm close up here. This is gonna sound crazy, y'all, but I went to the spring game. North Carolina Central looked really good, and I'm sorry, they look really good. But I don't know if I want to give it them. I'm gonna say Grambling. I'm gonna say Grambling from what they brought in.
Okay.
I have Grambling as my 5, actually. I did.
All right. So what's the other 4?
Okay, so I got Sam. Hold
on, Robin. Jay,
Sam?
you gonna do your other 5 or your bottom 5, Jay? Or you good?
No, I can't.
Let's go 5. Let's just go 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Jackson State. I had Texas Southern actually, but
wow.
I guess I'll put South Carolina State, Texas Southern, Grambling. That was my 5.
Listen, man, I'm gonna say this: quarterbacks matter, and if your team don't have a quarterback, I can't put you in the top echelon because, like, South Carolina State, they bring in their quarterback. Jackson, they bring in their quarterback. FAM, I like Musa. I think Musa's gonna be the starter.
I like him.
Yeah, North Carolina A&T. I'm just basing off the whole program. I'm not really nitpicking one thing. I think they're going to be on the decline if I'm being honest, but as of right now, they good with me. In Texas Southern, They got that man. Everybody. My guy.
Every
That's my
time.
guy. That's my
Every
guy.
time.
That's my guy. But go ahead. What you, Ron?
This one's hard for me because
Fam.
He actually would have said no. He
Fam.
actually probably
Go
would have
ahead,
said
dude.
South Carolina State. Actually, I think so. I think so.
Dylan.
He a South Carolina boy.
And Robin, you right, cause yeah, I gotta put South Carolina State number one because
Okay.
how they dominated Jackson State.
Molly Watt.
hey, Scotty, 4-19.
Come on, man. They say we're not scared. They say they not.
4-19.
Molly. I don't care about no forfeit. 31-10. That's what I care about. 31-10. Jackson State number
You
one.
were supposed to be in prevent.
If it was like 28-31, I'd be like, oh yeah, Jackson State number one. 31-10. Shit, y'all better be glad you're number two.
Mm-hmm.
like I told people, Jackson State saw some bullies. Jackson State thought there was a bully, but they saw some bullies and they from Orangeburg. So my second team, it was hard. It's between Jackson State and FAM. I hit.
Do the FAM.
This girl crazy, y'all.
Yo, she wildin'.
Yes. I picked.
Believe in it, man.
I
Believe in it.
picked Jackson State.
Okay, that's real. Hey, it's all right, man.
The only reason why I picked Jackson State because they went undefeated in the SWAC, and
I agree.
And they did beat FAM. So
That was some
that's the only
bullshit,
reason
but
why
that's fine.
I put them as number two. But FAMU can easily be number two because they did beat South Carolina State in a traditional fashion. I think a goose said. So any of those three can be interchangeable, but this is my list, so that's how I put it. North Carolina A&T, definitely number 4. I feel like if they play some teams in the SWAC, they'll run through them. I think they'll have a good game against clearly South Carolina State. FAM already got a 3-0 record against them, so FAM would definitely get them. Jackson State, that would be definitely a good game.
FAM would definitely get them.
Right. I mean, Scotty, you should have saw the last game. We won the fight and we won the game.
Ron was there.
Yeah. I was trying to watch out for helmets and stuff, and I was on the field, Scotty. It was crazy. My number 5 is a tough one because I'm gonna have to go with Alabama A&M.
Oh wow! Oh, okay.
That's what I was about to say too, Ron. That's what I was about to say too.
Yeah, Alabama A&M. I feel like they got something to prove this year.
That's real.
Because they was this close beating FAM. They was literally this close beating FAM. But that bad man named Bishop, can I get an amen? Scooted out that backfield.
Now is that the team that has the real estate agent as the
No.
That's Alabama State.
That's
Alabama State. I'm
Yeah,
interested
that's
in seeing what they're gonna
Alabama
do.
Man, I am too. I am. He been
What
recruiting.
land they're gonna buy.
Boy, he been recruiting.
Did all the land he gonna buy.
He been telling them boys, hey, the 3
I
things
definitely
about
need to get you on
recruiting.
the channel. You a real one. I definitely need to get you on the channel. You a real one. You stupid.
3 things about recruiting is land, and land. And that's what we got here.
Man,
We can win.
he doing something. I respect that he doing something. But yeah, A&M, man, they just, to me, they have too many holes to fill. That's why I couldn't really rock with them at number 5. You literally had to revamp your whole defense, not a half, not a quarter. Everybody went, and you had to replace everybody. I talked to the coaches. I'm real close to the coaches down there. They said they feel like they're really different in the trenches. And then, you know, listen, man, you lose the all-time leading quarterback of Akil Glass, and you know you got my boy Quincy Casey. You got my boy Quincy Casey down there. I think he can win it, but I just think it's a lot of holes, man. It's just a lot. You know, replacing a good guy, replacing a great quarterback like Akil Glass is not easy. So we'll see, man. But yeah, I agree with your top 5. That's dope. A&M, they just couldn't do it for me. I maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8. You know, but it's just because it's just too many holes, man. And Grambling, they couldn't be top 5. They damn near got it. I mean, I don't know who on their team. You know what I'm saying? They cut everybody and added everybody. Like it's just like, oh, okay, cool.
They added a lot of stars though.
Yeah, them stars. We'll see what them stars add up to. We'll see what them stars. Because I'm gonna be at that Grambling Jackson State game, so we'll see what them stars looking like.
Man, to be honest though, man, Alabama A&M, that was between them and Grambling.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of the coaches too. I went to school with their linebacking coach. I played ball with him at Winston, and then my head coach when I was at Winston, I think he is the defense or the linebackers or defense coordinator coach now.
Eastman.
Oh no, not him, man. Okay, I'm talking about Bullware.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bullware. You're right. My bad. That's on me.
Yeah, he was my head coach at Winston, and then Coach Maynard was actually my head coach at Winston too. So everybody that's at Alabama A&M, they got some great coaches.
Wow, you didn't pick them. The disrespect. Wow.
He did it. He chose Grambling, and we got it on record.
You got no loyalty. No loyalty.
That's crazy.
He said they got potential. He said they got potential.
That's
This
crazy,
is potentially
man.
number 5. That's
nothing to Jerry. He like, man, I'm about these dubs, and I don't.
That's crazy, man.
He said they're gonna be good, but not great. That's what he said.
It's between, hey, hold on. My teammate, he coached at Grambling too. So I got ties to both of them.
I think he had a little bit more side on Winston's side, but that is it.
He was naming off so many coaches. I felt like,
My frat brothers too.
oh, and they frat bro. Well, you ain't got no loyalty. You ain't no loyalty. None.
Hey,
You a Q?
Scotty, it's a dog eat dog world. Look at him.
Listen, I've been on this HBCU community long enough, man. Listen, I know some Qs. I'm gonna tell on you. I'm gonna tell them that you ain't even rapping. You ain't rapping right.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, dog.
You ain't rapping right. They be like, every time I go somewhere, because I got a couple Qs, I kick it. They be like, where the bros at? I'm like, man, you sit your ass down.
And that's how it is. Wherever you go, you better find somebody.
Man, listen, they everywhere, man. That Q now, I tried to put in the application for 30 days just to see like what that network is like. Like, no, for real. Like, I was trying to be a Q for 30 days just to kind of, because listen, first of all, ain't nobody branding me. My skin is just too fragile. First of all,
not everybody get branded, Scotty. Not everybody does that, baby.
Man, my skin is too sensitive.
30 days ain't even long enough for you to be on the line.
Oh, trust me. I'm
That's the process.
Listen.
Dog said 30 days and 30 nights, and he gone.
I'm good. I ain't getting branded. I'm gonna throw up a hook. I'm a network, and I'm out.
Dog got a monthly subscription.
I'm in there and I'm out. I just want to get a taste of it because because every time I be like, man, they be like, oh yeah, I knew a Q. Like all these administrators getting job. Oh, he's my frat brother. Yo, you done. I'm like, damn, that shit really.
You should do grad chapter, Scotty.
All Scotty gonna do is be in the line and be like this. All right. Where my stuff at?
Yeah, let me get all my gear. Like, don't hit me. Don't kick me. Don't punch me.
Yeah, you should do grad chapter, friend.
Jerry, say that again.
That a Mega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated is a non-hazing organization.
Hey, clip this. Hey, clip it and send it to me. Because if I make my application, when I make my application, I would be like, he told me. I don't move that
Jerry told me.
Hold that nigga.
Hey man, all straight gonna get my control number taken away from me, dog.
Listen, hey, I need to know when you cross. I'm writing it down right now. When you cross, like, yeah, him. He told me non-hazing organization. Yeah, you bet not look at me the wrong way.
And they're gonna strip my brands off me, dog.
You branded?
He's selling.
See
Brandy.
what I'm saying? My skin too sensitive, man. I
Weren't you in the military?
that's not the point though.
He can't take bullets, but he can't take a brand.
Wait,
He can't
Wait.
he can't take a
wait
brand.
a damn minute.
I'll die, but don't
We're
brand me.
fighting for our country.
Don't brand me though. Don't brand me. Nah, don't brand me though.
No,
Nah,
I respect that. I don't. Yeah.
my skin. Yeah, my skin's just too sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was funny.
Just thinking about it just makes me get the willies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Oh yeah, I ain't laughed this much on the show. Yeah, definitely got to bring you back, Scotty.
Man, hey man, you know, I appreciate you having me on, man. Listen, I just do what I can when I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. But hey, Robin, we go. I'm gonna reach out. I like how you get down. I'm gonna reach out to you. I ain't gonna steal you. I ain't gonna steal you, but I'm
I got to be done.
gonna borrow you. Borrow you.
All right now.
Say less.
Make sure you follow the Priest Not Read on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe to make this page grow. I see y'all. I'm out.